Hey everybody, this is Adam with Front Range Storm Contractors here. I want to show you a little bit about this new F-Wave product that we've installed, and we'd really like to start pushing. So I've got three pieces here, three different components of it. This is the starter, this is the field shingle, and this is the hip and ridge. So basically it needs a smooth underlayment. So whether it's the felt or the ice and water or what have you, it needs to be smooth. Does require ice and water at the eaves and in the valleys. So you can use non-granulated ice and water, or you can put the ice and water down and then the felt over top of the ice and water. Either way is acceptable for the installation. And then synthetic felt is required just because of the smoothness of it. And it doesn't work well with asphalt products. So that's the other option besides the synthetic felt is asphalt. Felt paper, and it just doesn't work well with that. So you keep it laying face up because the native adhesive is on the back of it, and it gets pretty sticky pretty quickly. So as long as you have it facing up, it won't stick to whatever you're setting it on top of. It won't stick to each other because it alternates where the adhesive is. So it's on the bottom of the shingle, and they alternate whether it's the bottom is here or the bottom is here. And then on the other side, you've got this strip right here that is basically non-stick. It's almost like a backing paper so that it doesn't get stuck to the shingle below it. If for some reason though, you do put it down on a surface and it adheres to the surface. Normally asphalt shingles, guys are used to picking them up from the end like this. That doesn't work so well. It could actually damage the shingle itself. You need to pick it up from the opposite end and use leverage to pull it up this way when the stickiness is down there. Okay, obviously if the stickiness was over on this side, then you'd pull it that way. But so you're always pulling it from the side that is not the reveal, not the part that you're going to install that you're going to see once it's installed. So that's the end that you want to pick it up from. Alright, so let's see what else. So also, when you're installing shingles, we tend to use a hook blade to cut the shingle, whereas with the F-Wave, you're just going to use a typical straight blade. Alright, so I don't know how well you guys can see this. Let me move these out of the way over here. So typically on a roof, you install the starter all the way around for asphalt shingles. For F-Wave, it's only on the eaves, not on the rakes at all. And then after you install the starter, you offset it a little bit. Usually you cut the first piece of starter so that the seams don't line up between the starter and the shingle because they are the same length. My leg's in the way, I guess. So they're the same length shingle. You don't want these seams to be lining up and overlapping, so you cut the first piece of starter so that they don't line up. And the amount that you cut is, so it's broken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 5 little sections there. You can kind of see the seam a little bit right here. And those correspond, of course, to the 5 tabs on the shingle. You want to offset it by 1.5. So cuts that easy. So you put the starter down, nail that on the roof. Put the next starter down, nail that down, and then you're putting shingles on the roof, okay? Now, the next shingle starts 1.5 at a 1.5 offset. So either that way or that way, whichever you prefer. It really doesn't matter. But this video, I wanted to show you guys some of the technology and thinking in these shingles. And so I want to show you some of the markings, indications that they have on these shingles as well. So right here, well, let me do it down here on the actual shingle. So they've got these triangles and then a nice little line that goes right up from the peak of that triangle, and that shows you exactly where to line up that next shingle. So it's super easy to see and to line them up horizontally that way. And then, as you can see right here, each of these shingles actually, well, it basically has half of that gap. Half of this gap right here over on the side of the shingle. And that is where you line up with this line right here. So what that does is behind the shingle all the way through that line and that crack, you still get this kind of surface showing through the crack. You don't see any of the smoothness or other stuff there. On the back of these things, that's what the back looks like. And so it makes it super strong, all the reinforcements there. But it's also super comfy to walk on. Very cushioned. These are self-healing shingles. So virtually non-scuffable. A lot of times installers will be wearing boots, things like that. Asphalt shingles, they will step right on the edge of the shingle, and especially on a warm summer day, that's going to be really soft on asphalt shingles, not on these shingles. There are no granules here. This is all molded plastic type of thing, and so it's all one piece, and there's nothing to like come off into your gutters, nothing to get smushed and scuffed by boots and foot traffic. And then if, let me get a tool here. Just somebody drops a tool, or a lot of times, you know, you can only fit like 20 some nails into a nail gun at a time. So when the guys put their nail guns down to either reach for the next shingle or to change the coil of nails in their nail gun, they'll drop it on the shingles and it can get damaged. But watch this. So I just scuffed that. You can see that line right there. What we're going to do is we're going to take a heat gun would actually be better, but I don't have one available right now, so I'm just going to use a blow dryer. I'm going to turn that on right there. Just going to use that blow dryer for a few seconds right here. Okay, and as you can see, this part is actually much better than this part over here. I didn't use anything on this part over here, but this part I did. And again, it's just a regular blow dryer. Imagine if you had an actual heat gun with you on site where you could fix any little touch-up spots you needed to like that. Now, the F-Wave Rep tells me that you can also just leave it out in the sun. The sun on a summer day will get hot enough to fix those shingles. They are self-healing. And then I want to show you guys a little bit more here. Let me set this down. So this is the hip and ridge that then would go along the top of your roof. Let me get the second one here because that'll illustrate it better. So you just cut one of these off to use this part as a starter at the very beginning of your row, and then it's actually got a raised edge right there, so that you can know exactly where to stop and where to install the shingle in this direction. A lot of asphalt shingles for the hip and ridge, you'll see that the guys install them too far apart. It's really hard to make that mistake visually with these F-Wave shingles. Now on the field shingles, see if you guys can see that right there. It's got a little mark where you're supposed to nail it. So one, can you see that one? Let me get it at the right angle. Two, see, circle with an X there. And then there's 3 and 4. So it takes 4 nails, and the glue on there is so sticky that will get you 130 mile an hour wind rating. If you install it with 6 nails, that'll get you 150 mile an hour wind rating. These hip and ridge shingles show you to, it says nail here. So anywhere in this rectangle right there. And this is what's on the back of it. Reinforced area right here where you're supposed to nail it. Now that's one thing that's a little bit different from asphalt shingles, because asphalt shingle guys are used to nailing it right down here, right next to where the next shingle would be for the overlapping, whereas these ones are supposed to be nailed back up this way a little bit. And also, look at these markings on the back of it. If you have a hip, which is where you would use these shingles and it's not going horizontally on the roof. It's actually coming down vertically where, oh, hey, look at this. I got a picture of it right here. Okay, so on this roof right here, this is the ridge, and these are hips where they come down diagonally. So down here at the bottom of the hip, you actually have to cut the shingle, and these lines show you exactly where to cut it depending on the pitch of the roof. So if the pitch is super steep, then you use this, actually I'm sorry, you use this one here for like a 4, 6, and 8 pitch is where you cut it. So, oops, got the hook knife. I'm just gonna take that straight blade, show you guys how easy this is. So, again, just cut right along that line there on both sides. And when you put that towards the bottom of your hip, you've cut it at exactly the right angle for that pitch. So that's a really nice piece of technology there for the guys. The fact that it's so easy to cut makes it really nice. Shows you exactly where to nail it on the shingle itself. Super nice. Self-healing for the homeowners. Hail-proof. Oh my goodness. Check down below. I've got a link to a video that shows you a hail cannon firing onto these things. So they are super lightweight. You install them right over synthetic felt. Really easy to install. A lot of nice indicators and markings on the shingles themselves because they're not asphalt, so you print right on the shingles. These colors are printed onto the shingles. And it's really cushioning to walk on. So for the installers, it also helps prevent fatigue that way. They've got an A rating for fire. If you install them with 6 nails, up to 150 mile an hour wind rating. 130 mile an hour, you can get that with 4 nails. Class 4, because that's the highest that laboratories test for, but they really could have a higher class rating if there was one. And so because of that, this is the only shingle that has a 5-year hail-proof guarantee, up to 2-inch hail. For 5 years, will not damage the shingles, or the manufacturer will replace them. No need to file an insurance claim. Any other class 4 shingles, they're rated for up to 2-inch hail, and all that means is that it could damage the top part, but if you turn it around and look at the back of the shingle, this part back here won't be cracked. Who really cares about the back? It's the front part that matters. That's where the hail hits, and that's where all of the damage comes from when it's on your roof. So asphalt shingle class 4 rating is a little bit of a joke to me. When I talk to my customers about it, I tell them it can get you a discount on your premium, but I wouldn't pay extra for it other than for that reason, because they're rated for 2-inch hail, whereas a class 3 is, let me do it this way. They're rated for 2-inch hail, whereas a class 3 is only 1 3/4 inches. So tiny 1/4 inch difference, not really going to make much of a difference other than your insurance premium. Whereas these shingles will make a difference. They will protect your roof, your house from hail. Check out that video in the comments with that hail cannon. So they install very much like a shingle. They look very much like a shingle. They protect like no asphalt shingle can. They're amazing. Cost is a bit more, but if we're removing from your roof any kind of premium asphalt shingle or other materials such as wood shake, tile roof, whether it's concrete tile or metal tile, or metal panel roofing, any of those kinds of roofing that can get damaged by hail, if it gets damaged by hail and we have to replace it for you, let us put these on. You're gonna love them, I promise. There's several different styles. Let me go get you some samples actually real quick and show you. Sorry about that. Obviously a little off script here. Otherwise I would have had those on hand. So we've got this style, which is the same type of style that the shingles that I just showed you, where it's a slate look and the corners are squared off like that. We've also got this style here, which is another slate look, but the corners are tapered. And then I've just got two more colors of this tapered look slate. And they do come in more colors than that. They also now come in a wood shake look, but that's just in the last 2 weeks that that's become available, so I don't even have samples of those yet. But actual wood shake looking F-Wave shingle on your roof. Amazing. I love the way that wood shake looks when it's first installed. So if you could get that in the F-Wave, that's my personal preference. Let us know what we can do for you to get you into an F-Wave roof. I promise you will not regret it. We are certified by the F-Wave themselves. The very first roof that we installed had a project manager from F-Wave come out and teach our crew all the differences. There's also some caulking that you can and can't use with F-Wave because, like I said, they don't work well with asphalt-based anything. So we are certified installers of F-Wave. Let us know how we can get you into one. Contact us either at info@frontrangeshormcontractors.com or you can call us at 720-800-STORM. That's 720-800-7867. Thanks. Have a good one, everybody.